For me, it's definitely sense of urgency. When we first decided, okay, we're going to do this, it was very like go, go, go from the beginning.
Yep.
And I told her, like, if not now, then when?
Right. Yes.
Right? We have to catch this opportunity soon before it goes away or before someone else does the same thing.
Welcome to Soul Food, a podcast that celebrates the flavors, stories, and journeys that shape us. In each episode, I sit with someone who's carving their own path in life. We talk about the moments, the mindsets, and of course, the meals that made them. I hope their stories can inspire you in unexpected ways. Today, I'm with Shu Hui Wee and Tiara Hutiana, who are the founders of Matcha Master. So Matcha Master is what I call a Matcha Plus brand. They do matcha powders that are infused with other nutritional benefits like collagen or protein. Really excited to have them on today because firstly, matcha is having such a moment worldwide. I'm really fascinated at how this very traditional historic ingredient has become such a superstar. And secondly, I wanted to talk to them about what it's like building a relatively new business in this day and age where things are hyper competitive, like trends come and go in a blink of an eye. I want to dive deeper into what that means for someone who might be thinking about starting their own business today. So first of all, thank you, Shu. Thank you, Tiara. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, so excited. Let's rewind a little bit. I wanted to know a bit more about your stories and how you started the business. Like, was there a moment when you guys came together and like, let's start this matcha business? Tell me a little bit about how that came to be.
Maybe a little bit of background about us for
Yes.
those who don't know. Like we have known each other for more than 10 years. We went to college together. And we never set out to say that we are starting a business together. But, throughout the years, we've always talked about different business ideas. And because we're both interested in health and wellness and food, it's all conversations have always gone towards there. But I would say in terms of the moment when we decided like, hey, this is something we should try together was we were both at different points of our career. And Tiara can share more about what she was doing.
Yeah.
But for me personally, I moved back to Singapore and started a VC job. And I started that job wanting a way to meet more entrepreneurs. And because at the back of my mind, I always wanted to start my own business. And I'd been doing it for a bit and realizing that I was meeting all these entrepreneurs who are building such cool stuff. Like, what am I doing? Kind of just looking at Excel spreadsheets and doing the analysis. Like, I wanted to build too.
Yeah.
And then Tiara can share her moment when, she was running her nutrition practice.
Yeah. So actually, when I moved back from California, I started my nutrition business where I was basically doing nutrition consultations one-on-one. And before that, I was working for a few health tech startups. Sorry, let me rephrase and kind of go through it in chronological order. So I went to school for nutrition. I did my bachelor's at UC Berkeley. And the program that I was in was purely a clinical track, meaning that part of the major that I was in, it was training me to essentially work at a hospital as a dietitian.
Okay.
And for me, that was not the kind of work environment that I wanted to be in. It was not, I would say it wasn't for me because I wanted a nicer workplace, I'd say, because I didn't think that I would thrive in that hospital environment.
Okay.
So I joined a few health tech startups there, building products, and I really love building products. And after joining a few health tech startups from there, I came back to Indonesia and started my nutrition consultation business. And during that time, I learned a lot of things about my clients, like a lot of common issues that I saw. And I saw that people were not getting enough protein in their diet. And people were also having lots of acid reflux symptoms from coffee. And that's a conversation that I had with Shu, actually. It's like, did you know that a lot of people have acid reflux, or did you know?
And then for my VC job, where the functional nutrition aspect comes in is I was seeing that the market for functional nutrition was getting bigger and bigger. And I felt like this is definitely a space that we were to build and we're passionate and interested in. Like, this is something that we should do soon and now. And so we started talking about it a lot more, but I feel like it was a very organic process of constantly chatting and bouncing off ideas.
Yeah.
And then one day it was Tiara who was like, matcha with functional nutrition. Like she was like, do you want to do it? And then we just started talking a lot more and started building. But even the lead up to it just felt organic because we were chatting as friends, not as business partners.
Yeah, like not like, oh, this is my potential business partner. I'm going to pitch her an idea.
No, it was never like that. And we just kept like bouncing off ideas so that eventually that led to what Matcha Master is now.
Okay. And how long did that take? Like say from the idea, Tiara's like, hey, matcha with nutritional benefits. From that idea till when you launched the company, like how long did that take you?
About a year.
About a year. It took us a while. The R&D process was a really long time.
Okay.
I remember also just talking to a lot of people at that time, not only like taste testing, but also looking to how they would go about their mornings, right? And I feel like creating the MVP was probably the most difficult time for us because there was no blueprint to what we were planning to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't a simple copy paste from another company, from another market that we could be doing. So I think that was the biggest challenge for us when we first started is, are people actually going to use this?
Yeah. Like we went into it, like I wish I could say like I was so confident it was going to work out. Like we were nervous when we launched. We thought it was just going to be our friends and family buying because our branding is also so different from traditional matcha.
It is. Yeah.
We weren't sure if people would like it. And of course we did interviews with people and so that helped to kind of guide us in a direction. But Tiara's right. There was no blueprint. We were trying to do something completely different. So even when we launched, we were so nervous.
We were like, no one's gonna buy it.
No one's gonna. Yeah, I was like, okay, at least I have a big family.
I think
siblings.
Everyone who starts a business has that paranoia. That's like, oh, like, am I just crazy? Are people actually going to buy my stuff? And like me, 13 years in, I still feel that. And when I see people eating my ice cream, I'm just like, oh, are they going to like it? Like, I'm not sure, you know. But I think that's that paranoia that makes you like try and do more and more and more and make sure that you do the right thing. Yeah. Did you have to invest a lot of capital into the business when you started? Like, how was that?
I would say we invested about in the 5-digit range. I wouldn't say it was a huge amount, but it's also like you hear the stories of people putting in like $200.
Yeah.
Like that was not us.
Okay.
And a lot of it was because the R&D took a really long time. And, you know, it's not just the product, it's packaging, the design.
Yeah.
I feel like all that is costs that
It is.
people don't really think about. But we had to put in all that cost because we were so particular about what product, like the final product that we were putting out.
Yeah. You have to buy all your inventory first and your packaging before that. And, you know, in order to
when you run a consumer business, it is that working capital upfront that you have to put in. So I would say it's in the 5-digit range that we had to put in collectively.
Okay. And tell me, what's the story behind the name Matcha Master?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah.
So Matcha Master is based off of like Masta means like Masuta in Japanese, which means master.
Okay.
Yeah, and really the thinking behind the name is that, you know, you can be in control of all the decisions you make, like what you drink daily, and be intentional about your daily choices. And I think as you kind of step back for us and why it felt so meaningful when we decided on the name is that we felt like we were in control of our own lives by starting our own business. I had been working for other people for a while and Tiara had been running her nutrition business, but it was like this point in our lives where we were like, okay, let's do something for ourselves and build something that we truly believe in. And that's why the name still feels so meaningful to me.
Yeah. We actually get lots of questions on the name, so I'm glad you brought it up because we haven't really explained it in like our content or social media too much, which we probably should now.
Should, because I think it's like an interesting name and the branding itself is very like modern and very different from your traditional heritage matcha. So it's a lot of fun. It's very like girly. So it's nice.
Yeah. And honestly, like when I grow old, like my biggest fear is having regret right? Having regret, like, oh, I wish I did this when I was younger. Like, oh, I wish I did this. And I feel like the mindset of having control of your decisions, of your health, of your career is so key.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it for me as well. Like, I feel like when you start your own thing, you're really the master of your own ship and you can chart your course in a way. I mean, yeah, there's going to be things that happen along the way, but you are in a way in charge of your destiny. So,
no, I mean, every single day we make a million decisions now.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure you know it.
Yeah, you definitely make a million decisions.
Yeah, it comes to a point where I'm like, people ask me then, what do you want to have for dinner? And at the end of I'm just like, I don't care.
I was like, I will eat anything.
I'll just eat whatever's on the table.
Yeah. Honestly, when it's 6 p.m. at the end of the day, my brain is just fried.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't think. I'll just eat tofu. Like from the fridge. So you guys actually seem like very well matched founders. I mean, finance background, nutritionist background, going into functional food. But you're also friends, and I think that there's a risk in doing business with a friend. So like, what is for you been the hardest thing about working with each other?
Ooh, this one,
I don't want to start a fight.
Yeah. No, okay, so I will say there are good things for being very different. So definitely our hard skills are different because I could not be doing what Tiara does with the product development, or she does all the socials, creatives. Yeah. Whereas I do the operations, finance, like B2B partnerships type work. So I think that is very complementary. But actually, our soft skills are actually very different. Very How we handle problems are very different.
Yeah,
And so you could say that I think if we weren't friends, that could be sources of conflict. But we have that friendship where we value our friendship so much, and there's that underlying trust that even if we handle problems differently, we can talk through them. Or we see things. There are moments where she's like, "Let's go," and I'm like, "Wait, no, like let's look at how much it costs first." Because I'm always looking at the money.
I think that's a good one actually. Is money and like how we spend money within the business. Because Shu is the head of the finance team. Also a numbers whiz, and I'm the complete opposite. Like, I cannot do anything numbers. Like I'm so sorry. Like I cannot run this business without Shu.
I can't run it without her because she does all the creatives.
But we are very different people. Like personality wise, we're very, very different. Like I'm very pessimistic, paranoid, impulsive, impatient. Shu is very much the opposite.
But I think you actually need those two personalities in a business. You can't. I actually don't think it will work out if we were exactly the same. And so of course there will be moments of like, I wouldn't even say tension, but it's just like you have to get used to discussing why you feel that way and do it in a very productive way. And at the end of the day, we're both so passionate about the business and how we want to grow it that we can actually look past some of how we think differently and be like, okay, so what is best for the business?
I think that's a good point. Like something that companies that have two founders, it's one, you get the different skill set, but two, also for me at least, like working with my husband, people was like, are you crazy? Like, why are you working with your husband? Like, you would drive me insane. And I know it doesn't work for everyone, but it works for us. And also I find it's about the support, because like when one of us is very down, then the other one is going to pick us up. You know, and it's when you're alone. I've spoken to people who founded companies alone. It's super, super lonely. Even when you have one co-founder, it's still lonely. And so I think that's one huge like plus of having someone to work with on the business at that level.
Like someone who knows you so well.
So you can tag team on basically everything. And fill each other's gaps. I think that's so important. And, you know, in the beginning, I was so against running a business with a friend, let alone like a best friend. But now that I'm actually running Matcha Masta with Shu, my perspective completely changed. Because there's so much trust and so much transparency between how we run things because we've known each other for so long. I think that's key.
And that's the friendship piece. That just reminded me of a really interesting story that I heard on the BBC. It was like these two ladies who were best friends. They had wanted to go on this safari trip through Africa, like self-driving through the savannah. And it was their dream. And so when they were pretty, you know, middle-aged ladies, they went and they did this because they saved up their whole lives for it. On the first day, their car literally exploded. It caught fire and they were alone in the savannah with no food, no car, and they had to walk out. And they were saying that the thing that made them survive was that there was two of them. They said without a doubt, if it had been one of them, they wouldn't have made it out of that African, you know, desert. And it was because like when one of them, you know, her leg was broken and she's like, leave me here, leave me to the lions. The other lady was like, no, I'm going to bring you with me. And so when one was at 0, the other one was like 200%. And I feel like
our day-to-day
co-founder relationships are very much like that. It's like, one's like, did we make the wrong decisions? You know, like, you know, are we going down the wrong track? And the other person has to be like, no, for XYZ, we're doing the right thing. Like keep your eye on the goal. Like let's, you know, motivate each other. And so that's such a huge part of it.
No, definitely. Because it actually takes a lot of effort to motivate yourself. So it is actually nice to have someone there with you who's kind of building this along with you and you have the same shared vision.
To push you along. And you talked about like, you know, when you started the business, you were worried like no one would order. Do you remember getting your first order? Do you remember who it was from or like that moment?
I don't remember the exact name, but I remember the moment before our website was going to go live. I was glued to the screen. And like, mind you, like this is when we were super sleep deprived. There's so many things went wrong a couple of days up to that launch. And we actually launched a little bit early too, which made things very hectic. But I remember when the clock striked, like I think, what did we?
I think we launched at 9 p.m.
Yeah, 9 p.m. It was definitely at night. And then the orders started flowing and I was like, am I
amazing.
dreaming? This is not real, right?
And is this through like, do you run a website? Like how do people get your products?
On Shopify.
Shopify, okay.
So it's on
your
matchamaster.com.
Okay.
Yeah. But now we're on e-commerce, but at the time it was only matchamaster.com.
Okay.
But
that's amazing.
All these so we have our Shopify apps on our phone and it just kept going off throughout the night.
Oh, amazing.
And I mean, we were just running on adrenaline. We're texting each other like, is this real? Or how do people even know about us? Because like actually our first few orders, like I had to tell my family, please do not buy because we might not have enough inventory. And I remember, so I think we launched on a Wednesday or Thursday. We ran out of inventory. So we spent that whole weekend, packing boxes. And then
shipping
just
those orders.
like talking to our different suppliers, being like, we need to order more of this and this and this. And it was very hectic.
It was surreal. It was like a dream.
Oh,
all those were good problems to have.
Yeah, those are great
It
problems.
was just not what we were expecting because we were like, okay, this will last us a while. We'll see who buys.
And how did people actually know about your brand? Like, did you do a lot of pre-launch marketing? Like, how do you build your brand now?
So we spent $0 on marketing at the time, and it was all through TikTok.
Okay.
So at the time I was creating content on TikTok on my personal account page, and I was starting to build in public. So taking the audience with me to like a lot of our like decisions, like branding decisions, like, oh, what color would be great for like our matcha brands? Like, oh, how should we name, like who should we name our mascot after, or things like that. And that kind of engagement really helped with the marketing aspect.
So you brought people really with you as you were building the business. And so when you were ready, they were like, I'm ready to, to like support.
Yes. And a lot of people DM'd me. I was like, oh my gosh, congratulations on the launch. It feels like it's like our baby, you know?
They
love
felt
that.
what they were building with us.
Yeah.
And that's actually the fun part about building the brand too. Like to your question about building in this day and age with social media is that you can really bring your community along with you and you feel a lot more connected to your customer, even though like we don't have a physical space. We sell online only. But we do get to communicate with our customers very easily through Instagram, TikTok. They email us, they WhatsApp us. They DM us. Any form of communication, we're on it.
So, I mean, you talked about a platform like TikTok that's obviously working for you. Are there any other platforms that you feel are working for you really well, or conversely, what's not working in terms of sharing your brand and building your brand?
We are on most platforms. So
like social media
TikTok,
platforms.
Instagram, I post on LinkedIn sometimes. So
Yes.
trying to do, and then that reaches a different type of audience, and that's a different content
Okay.
too. But because we are such a new brand and we don't have a lot of financial resources to spend on marketing,
Yep.
we do need to leverage these platforms to just amplify the brand and our voices.
Yeah.
So I feel thankful that we're actually building in this day and age, because I actually think it's more competition for sure, but you
Yes.
just have a lot of opportunity too to talk about your brand.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. That's
Yeah.
something I see with like consumer brands now. It's like one of, I think, the best opportunities is to just be out there and you run your own channels as if they're
Yes.
media channels, right? And you get to have that interaction with your customer, because I think like you guys are an online business. You don't get to see your customer face to face, but you have this
No.
relationship with them still.
Exactly.
Yeah. What made you decide to go like online only instead of maybe opening a flagship store or something like that?
Ooh, both are very different business models.
Yes.
So for us, we knew, like, I mean, Matcha Masa is completely bootstrapped by me and Shu. We put in our savings to build this. So we knew that having and spending a rental space is very, very difficult for us. We didn't have the funds for it, essentially.
Okay.
So it's a financial decision for
Yeah.
sure, not to have a cafe or store.
Sure.
Especially because we live in Singapore, rent is pricey. So we just didn't have that. So it's just, it's a lot easier financially to run an online business.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also operationally, they're such different businesses. And Tiara and I don't have expertise in running a cafe. We had a pop-up in June.
Okay.
And that was, I guess, our first peek into what running a cafe is like.
Yeah.
And we know we can't be doing this
No.
daily.
No. No.
I think
Yeah.
how
Not for you.
it's just we don't have the expertise.
Yeah.
And I think this, like, the second point after the big financial decision is the scalability aspect.
Yes. Okay.
Right? It's really, really hard for a small team to be able to handle even one location or multiple locations.
Yeah.
So the decision to be an online or socials first brand was very intentional in that way, where you know, we really wanted to be efficient and have like a larger reach without the constraints of having a physical store.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for you, like, you're a digital first brand. What's the hardest part about being digital first?
Ooh.
I mean, at the end of the day, we are an F&B brand, right? And so there is that hurdle to cross to get people to buy something without trying.
Yeah.
That's definitely the biggest hurdle we have now. And the socials help, you know, with being more personable and talking to the customer. I think those things help with converting the customer and making them feel like they want to support the brand. But there is that hurdle of having to cross with people wanting to buy a food and beverage product without trying. So we do offline events, and we do have our pop-ups, and that's our way of having the customers try before buying.
Okay.
And those activations definitely help.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the tough part.
Yeah, it's true, because food is so like sensory. So when it's
Exactly.
only online, sometimes it's even a challenge for us, right?
Yeah.
What are the tools that you've used that have been most helpful in building your business?
Ooh, hands down, Notion.
We
Notion,
live on
okay.
Notion.
Yeah.
Notion and
Yes.
Slack. I feel like those are the big ones,
Yeah.
because we are a fully remote team.
Okay.
So having tools that make it effective, like makes communicating effective,
Yeah.
it's so important for
Okay.
us.
Yep.
Yeah, we
So-
use Slack a lot in our business too.
So when we first started, because it was just two of us, we were on WhatsApp. But then
Mhm.
like we've soon realized that we just cannot only be living on WhatsApp, because there's there's just too many types of
There's-
conversations
oh
going
gosh,
on.
yeah.
And the moment we switched to Slack, we're like, it feels like we're a big girl company.
It seems like we're official now.
Yeah, it's just still two of us talking, but in different channels.
Is there something you wish you knew before you started your business?
For me, it's not about what I wish I knew, but it's more about understanding trade-offs.
Okay.
That's a big one for me.
Okay, tell me more. Like, what kind of trade-offs have you had to?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, for example, if we want to be like a remote team, for example, and we chose that route, like there's always going to be a downside to that. Like, to every perk, there's going to be almost like a price to pay.
Yes.
Like, because we're remote, we don't get to like see our team members as often. Maybe it's like less engaging for the team.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big one for me.
I think it's almost better that you don't know too much. I think sometimes when you learn too much about what it takes to run a business, it might scare you off.
Yeah.
It's almost easier to go in with a little bit of naivete and all that hope. And that almost pushes me to keep building.
Yeah.
Because if I really saw like the end of the road, like maybe it would scare me from even starting.
Yeah. I love that you said that, because I feel that it is that you don't know what you don't know, and that sometimes protects you.
Exactly.
And for me as well, when I started my business, I was in my mid-20s and I really didn't know anything, but I had this naive hope and naive ambition. And I think had I known all the things that I know today, I'd be like, I'm going to stick with my day job. But now I'm in it, and I think a big reason for my success is I didn't know the rules. So I actually just made them as I went along.
Exactly.
And I didn't know the constraints, because with rules come constraints, right? If I was to operate like an MNC, F&B, consumer packaged goods company, when I started the business, I wouldn't have succeeded. But we didn't know what rules existed. And so we were able to kind of break them without even knowing we were breaking rules, but we got the objective, right? And we got the goals. So I think that's something really it's a blessing, actually, that youthful naivety. Have you guys had any like disaster stories that you laugh about now?
I would say when we got our first matcha tins shipment, half of the stock or inventory was dented. Yeah, that was right before we launched for the very first time. And we were so upset. We're like, oh my gosh, that means we only have like half
to sell.
Yeah, half
exactly.
to sell, yeah.
So that, and looking back, is now we know, like, okay, we need to tell our supplier to pack things in a certain way.
Okay.
And I mean, those things we didn't even like think to tell.
No, you take that for granted, that it's going to come to you.
Exactly, in the
properly.
perfect condition. And I remember when it came out, first we were so excited to see the shipment because it was stuck in customs. And that's what like freaked us out too, because we're like, how are we going to deal with this? And then finally it came and we're like, okay, we're good to launch. And then we start opening the box and we're like, oh, are you kidding me? Like, so many of them are dented. And I think we just like, I don't know, we were crying. We were very emotional. We were also very sleep deprived. But now looking back, it's like we managed along. Like we got more tins shipped to Singapore. So no problem is like impossible to fix. But we definitely made it into a very big deal because it was almost like, this is our product.
And especially after all that excitement, and then you're like, oh my God, it's like all damaged. Okay. I want to talk about matcha, right? Like, why do you think matcha is having such a big moment worldwide? Do you think it's a trend? Do you think it's something that's here to stay? Like, do you think it has the longevity of something like coffee?
Yeah, no. Well, we're in this business.
Yes.
So we definitely see it as a movement.
It.
Yeah, we truly believe in it. And taste aside, because we love the taste of matcha, but we truly think that it serves as a replacement for coffee. And the reason why is it has the caffeine benefits, but also all the other health benefits that come with matcha. So not sure if you know, but it's really high in antioxidants. It's gentle on your gut, so you don't really get that poopy feeling or like acid reflux from drinking coffee. You don't get the jitters or the anxiety that you might get from drinking coffee.
Okay. Is that because the caffeine is like sort of absorbed in a different way? It's like a different
release.
It's a slow release.
So there's something in matcha called L-theanine. And that helps with the slow release of caffeine. So after you drink matcha, you don't quite get the jitters that you get with coffee. And I think it's very relevant to the younger millennials, Gen Zs, as we see that a lot of them do struggle with anxiety. And so matcha does help with that.
Yep. I used to be a coffee nerd before I was into matcha, actually. I was a very serious coffee drinker. I loved experimenting with different brewing methods. And then I realized that I was having like 2, 3, 4 cups of coffee a day, and it would give me so much anxiety and jitters. But also the bloating effects. And I saw that with my clients as well, because I have a nutrition business where I consult clients on nutrition guidance, and a lot of them struggle with having bloating issues from coffee.
Okay.
So that was kind of an aha moment for us. Like, a lot of people have acid reflux. A lot of people
Yep.
are having these symptoms from drinking coffee on an empty stomach, for example, which is what a lot of people do, unfortunately, is their breakfast is coffee.
Okay. Yeah, I was one of those people actually, and I haven't drunk coffee for more than 15 years because I used to be a coffee addict. Like I would have
Same.
coffee in the morning, coffee to help me feel good in the afternoon, and like I love lattes, I love caramel in my coffee, like I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then one day I started getting like heart palpitations and like the really bad shakes and also feeling like vomiting. And so my husband still loves coffee. I still love the smell of coffee and I can't go past like tiramisu and coffee desserts, but I can't have like a whole coffee. But I don't find that with like something like matcha. So that's interesting that you guys were sharing that too. I wanted to like have you educate us a little bit about matcha because you hear things like ceremonial grade, you hear a lot of words being thrown around now. Some matcha suppliers I've talked to are like, that's just marketing. And some people are like, no, it's really true. So what's your view and how do you actually pick a good quality matcha from something that is not so good quality?
Yeah, so you do see ceremonial grade being thrown out a lot. And how that term came about was that's the quality of matcha that used to be used in traditional tea ceremonies in Japan. Where I'll say it's a marketing term is that there's no official guidance on what is considered ceremonial grade or not. That is really up to the tea farmers to kind of label whether it's ceremonial grade. And then the other term you'll see a lot is culinary grade. And so that's the type of, that's lower quality matcha, the kind you use in baking, cooking. But with culinary grade, there is a range, right? So to your question about how do you actually tell?
Yeah, if I'm shopping, like how do I pick, you know?
Yeah, so
it's tough.
When it's in a tin, it's tough. Then when you have seen the powder, you can tell. So some ways to tell is the color. When you see a vibrant green, that usually signals it's good quality.
Okay.
The other's in the texture. So you can do like a smudge test, and when it's very smooth, you know it's good quality.
Okay, like an eyeshadow.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
Yes.
And then thirdly, I would say it's also the aroma. When you smell it, it doesn't, you don't get that bitter, sharp smell that you might get with culinary grade matcha. With good quality ceremonial grade, it should be very fragrant and almost like buttery and vanilla notes.
Yeah, so I think the rule of thumb is generally if a matcha is very bitter and has that burnt smell, then it's probably the lower quality matcha.
I see.
The more expensive matcha becomes, it's usually a little bit more sweeter, a little bit more umami, a little bit more balanced also. But also there are a lot of factors like the roasting and also like the type of where it's grown as well. So similar to wine, right?
Yeah.
Where grapes are grown all around the world or all around France, for example, back in the day, each terroir would kind of affect the flavors and taste. And it's very similar to matcha leaves.
Okay. And so, you know, you guys obviously source your matcha. Can you tell us a little bit about your sourcing process? Where do you find it from? And how did you choose the one that was right for your products?
Ooh, good question.
So we only source from Japan and actually Uji Kyoto in particular. And when we went through the sourcing process, we actually sourced from all over Japan.
We spent so much money on samples, on matcha samples, because we wanted to have like a particular, like a very unique taste in the matcha. So that's kind of how we went about finding the sources based on taste.
Do you remember how much money you spent on like your matcha
I feel like
journey?
this is something we should not remember.
It was way too much. I remember I had like boxes. I had 2 boxes, like 2 large boxes, and one was the pass box and the fail box.
And well, we both had full-time jobs when we were doing the R&D. So it was like all weekends, or we would do it night times where we would taste test so much matcha. 9 p.m. onwards was our matcha.
How were you sleeping? Like,
we were wired.
We were not sleeping.
It was 10 p.m. We had so many like cups. I'm pretty sure I have the photo actually of us just taste testing like 10 different matchas at one go because we were going through so much. But I mean, ultimately we went to Uji Kyoto to actually meet a few matcha suppliers and we looked at the facility and kind of the process, and that's kind of how we came about or chose our supplier is purely based on taste, but also the relationship too.
What's the best like matcha food you've ever eaten? Could be savory, could be
Oh.
sweet.
I remember the matcha biscuits that you brought from
Yes,
Japan
they're so
were really good.
good.
It was a biscuit with kind of white chocolate, but also
Yeah.
matcha
Nice. Yeah.
inside.
So good.
White
Yeah.
chocolate matcha is a good combination.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, not just because you own an ice cream company, but mine has to be matcha soft serve.
Yeah.
In Japan, I think anywhere you go, matcha soft serve is so good.
So you mentioned earlier, and I think most people will know matcha has antioxidants. That's
Mhm.
something that, is pretty synonymous with matcha.
Yeah.
But what else does matcha do for our bodies actually?
So the L-theanine is a unique amino acid that gives us calmness without the drowsiness.
Oh.
So that synergizes really well with caffeine to give us a slow release
Okay.
of caffeine rather than like a really big spike and then
Okay.
crash at the end.
Okay.
So what it does to our bodies is that it makes us more focused, but in a very calm way.
Okay.
And then the second thing I would say is matcha is neutral in pH, so pH 7. So making it a nice, gentle caffeine alternative for your gut.
Okay. I just wanted to say for our listeners, Tiara is a nutritionist as well. So I think best person to answer that question. So, I think it's safe to say that both of you like matcha more than the average person, having, started a whole business around it. What is it about this product in particular that drew you in?
For me, it was definitely the low acidity aspect for it,
Yep.
but also, I mean, it's such a beautiful green color, right? And I think a lot of people agree that the color is so vibrant and it's so different, right? It's absolutely stunning if you take a photo or video, and which is also a big reason why I feel like it's gotten so viral lately is because it's such a captivating color, right?
That's true.
The green.
No.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like people are eating with their eyes actually
Exact-
through social
yeah,
media.
actually.
Yeah.
And also the versatility of the product, right? Like, matcha started off the traditional way where you just kind of make it with water, but then we've seen it in latte formats. And then now you have like strawberry matcha lattes. We did a mango matcha latte at our
Yeah.
pop-up. So there's just so many different ways you can use the product, and it's such a good medium. But I would say that, beyond just building a matcha business, we see ourselves as building a health and wellness business.
Okay.
And that's where, when you mentioned the Matcha Plus business, we wanted to build for the modern consumer in mind, like me and you, that we're busy on the go. So you want your 2-in-1 where you get that added nutrition.
Yep.
But we were so particular that it shouldn't compromise on the taste or quality of the
Okay.
matcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did you do that? I had a question about like how did you actually incorporate those extra nutritional benefits into your matcha? And does it actually affect the experience or the usability of it at all?
So we wanted matcha to be the star ingredient.
Okay.
So we wanted to feel like matcha, taste like matcha, look like matcha. So the nutrient, we were very particular that we wanted the nutrient to be absolutely invisible. So we have an R&D team that works with us closely to basically formulate it and do all the sensory testing. And I'm part of that as well. But yeah, I think for us, it was very important to not compromise on the taste, like what you mentioned.
Yeah, like the experience of
Yeah,
it.
we've
and-
had our fair share of taking like collagen powders that are matcha
Yeah.
flavored, or like protein
Right,
powder that's
okay.
matcha flavored.
Yeah.
And I thought that would replace my morning matcha, but it just doesn't. And there's
Yeah.
actually a lot of junk in the ingredients.
Okay.
And so that's why we were very clear from the beginning, like no junk in ours,
Okay.
because we have to be okay taking it daily.
Okay.
Yeah. When you like to go to the grocery store, you look at the back packaging. And
Yeah.
I think the biggest red flag is seeing a product on the shelf that has like a paragraph of ingredients on it.
Yeah.
And when you start to see a lot of like weird chemical names that you don't understand, or a lot of filler ingredients or preservatives, that's a really big red flag that we didn't want in
Our product.
Yeah, our product
Okay.
to be and have.
Okay.
So very simple, clean ingredients. And
Okay.
at the end of the day, we wanted to honor the traditional matcha. Like it's like there's so much time and care put into growing matcha leaves.
Yes.
And it's so unique in all the ways, right? So we really wanted to preserve that when we were doing the R&D.
I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the functional benefits of your product. Like if I'm taking like your matcha plus protein, I'm having one like serving. how much of that is my nutritional intake for the day for protein?
So usually for adults, you want to get at least 80 grams of protein per day.
Yep.
And so for one of our matcha plus protein, it's around 3 grams.
Okay.
So it's not a meal replacement.
Yep.
And we're not competing against like protein powders that have
Yep.
like 20 grams, 25 grams
Okay,
of
okay.
protein per scoop, for example. So it's purely, if let's say on average a person drinks 2 cups of matcha a day, it's an extra egg's worth of protein a day.
And with collagen, like, there's tons of like collagen creams, collagen supplements, whatever. What's the difference between, ingesting your collagen through something like a drink versus, applying it on your face?
So with topical creams with collagen, it doesn't penetrate as deeply as if you ingest collagen. So if you eat collagen, it affects your overall body's collagen production, your joints, and also your connective tissue as well. So it's really about how deep the effect of the collagen would be.
And with regards to your products, you have the protein out, you have collagen out. Is there anything new that we should be looking forward to? Anything that you're excited about?
Yeah. Well, we have our hojicha launches
you
as
have
hojicha and
hojicha. Yes.
collagen.
Oh,
So
okay.
the functional nutrient is still collagen, but the base is hojicha. And
Okay.
we're so excited about it
Yeah.
because, matcha, it still has high caffeine, right? It's still, most people, like I can't drink it after like 3 p.m. without affecting my sleep.
I see.
Whereas
Okay.
hojicha is a good like late afternoon, evening,
Oh, so does it
wind
have
down.
less
A lot
caffeine?
less caffeine.
Yeah,
Oh,
little
that's
to
good for
none
me.
actually.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of questions from the community.
Yeah.
Oh, is there decaf matcha?
Right.
Do you have like a no caffeine
Okay.
alternative similar to how there's decaf coffee?
Yeah.
So we thought that it's a trend that we've been seeing with a lot of Gen Zs and that age group as well, is that they don't want to have much caffeine anymore.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that because actually it affects my sleep, and I'm finding as I get older, like the more sensitive to sleep I'm getting. So if I have coffee in the afternoon, I mean not a
Right.
coffee, a matcha in the afternoon,
Oh,
like it really affects me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm excited for you to try it actually because the
Yes.
taste profile is so different.
very different too. Yeah.
It has a lot of like chocolatey notes,
Okay.
kinako notes,
Okay.
toasted,
Nuttiness.
And you just dissolve it in warm water,
Yeah.
hot
Yeah.
water, as
Or you
usual?
can cold whisk it too.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
you
can
you
cold
whisk it
whisk
with
it,
milk.
okay.
It
Yeah.
makes it a little creamier.
that sounds yummy.
It's
Yeah.
Okay.
it's almost like an adult chocolate milk.
Yes.
That's how
Oh,
I
yeah.
like
nice.
it.
Okay.
I feel like you love it.
And
Yeah.
if you are a coffee drinker, actually
Yeah.
the tasting notes are
Former coffee
very
drinker
similar.
who misses
Yeah.
coffee.
Yes.
Right?
Then
Yeah,
this is for
exactly.
you.
Okay, amazing, amazing. You talked about challenges before, and like when things get hard, like what do you tell yourself to keep on going?
Well, what I tell myself is that like I actually am living the dream that I've wanted, like running my own business. This
Yep.
is something I've wanted to do since I was a little girl. And so even though the day-to-day is really hard, I actually have to step back and be like, I'm so lucky I get to do this. I don't need to be sitting in an office and like staying there from 9 to 5. Like my day-to-day looks very different. We're solving different types of problems every day. And I also feel like I've grown so much being in this role than I have in any other job. So whenever I go through a tough time and I'm just like, I'm so lucky I get to problem solve. And
It's a mindset.
yes, it is a
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah.
And that I get to do this because I do think I'm becoming like, I'm just acquiring more skill sets,
Yeah.
both hard skills and soft skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I always think, if not now, then when?
Okay.
In your 20s, in your 30s, I feel like that's when you are it's an opportunity to grind, right? That age
Yes.
range. Not saying that you
Yes.
can't grind afterwards, but as women, especially 20s and 30s is truly, truly the best time to be able to hustle and progress in your career. And that can look very differently to everyone. But I think for me, it's about expansion actually for Matcha Masa and reaching a lot more consumers, growing our community.
Okay. I mean, looking ahead, like where do you want to take Matcha Master in the next couple of years?
Oh, I would love to be the #1 nutrition focused matcha in the world.
Amazing.
That's a very big goal that I support.
I support it. Yeah.
But definitely we want to be in more markets. We want to have more formats.
Yep.
We don't ever want to just pigeonhole ourselves as we're only going to sell what we're currently selling. Like
Okay.
I want us to always be innovative and just have bigger goals.
So I do have a few questions that I ask all of the people who come on this
Mm.
podcast. And the first one is, what is your first ice cream memory?
Gelare, the cookies and cream and waffles combo in Gelare.
I remember that.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Because I spent my childhood in Perth, and
Okay.
Gelare was always our to-go spot as a family with my
Okay.
cousins, with my uncles, with my aunts, with my
Oh.
parents.
Okay, I used to go to the one that was here in Suntec City, I feel like many, many, many years ago in Singapore.
Yes.
And they had this like buy one, get one Wednesdays or something like
Yes,
that.
yes,
And
every
I was
Tuesdays, buy
yeah,
one, get
something
one.
like
Yeah,
that. And I was an intern, and
Oh.
me and my fellow intern would wait
Yeah.
for that day and like go down and eat it.
Yes, yes. It happens once a week.
Yes, once a week.
I love
Always,
that.
Yeah.
Mine is okay. My family loves sweet treats. So I feel like ice cream was, I probably started eating ice cream before I turned 1.
Yeah.
But a fond memory of mine is my dad really loves Coke floats. And so
Oh.
he'll like buy
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Coke and then scoop the ice cream. And he never does anything in the kitchen ever.
Okay.
So that's like his only thing that he
Yeah.
does. And he still does it once in a while, like even
Aw.
now that we're older. And for me, that's just it feels nostalgic.
Yes.
And I don't even drink any soda right now, but I'll have a Coke float.
Yes to a Coke
You
float.
make an exception.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what is your absolute favorite snack?
Ooh, chips and salsa for me.
Chips and salsa.
Yes.
Spicy? How spicy? are
Very
you?
spicy.
Very spicy.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
yes.
Indonesian.
Yeah, I was gonna say she has good
Yeah,
spice
what kind of question is
tolerance.
that?
Definitely some form of chip or fry. I love potatoes in all forms. Yeah, any form of potato really. That's a good snack for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Not very healthy.
You guys are very savory. Do you lick or bite your ice cream?
Bite.
Bite. She's shuddering.
You're judging
How do
me.
you bite an ice cream? It's so cold.
I feel like licking it's so messy.
Right.
It's more prone to
Okay.
like drips like on your shirt, and it gets all over like your lips.
So you're like
Yeah.
a neat biting kind of
Yes.
person.
Yes.
No, I definitely lick because
Yeah.
I find that it's so hard on your teeth to
Yeah.
bite something cold.
Oh,
And
I don't
also
get
then
it.
you can't savor it as long.
Yes.
So like,
Mm.
okay, my pet peeve, I guess maybe this is where you'll get in a fight, but when I share an ice cream with someone and then they bite the whole thing off, like, what's there left?
I
So
don't
you
share
guys
my
can never
ice
It's
share
cream.
okay,
an
so
ice
we don't
cream.
share. Yeah, we have never
Yeah.
had to share.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think we will after this.
Yeah,
moment.
Okay. Tell me about one trait you have without which you wouldn't be where you are today.
I would say I'm very, very disciplined in kind of all aspects of my life. Maybe I have to thank the Singapore school system for it.
Yeah.
It actually trains you to be a very disciplined person. And I think that has been, I found very important when running Matcha Master because again, you don't have a boss to tell you what to do.
Yes.
I mean, if I really wanted to take a nap and sleep all day, technically I could, but that's not what we're going to do for the sake of growing the business. And you do have to almost create structure in your day too and be very intentional about it.
Okay.
And the other side of discipline is also learning to balance different aspects of your life. And so something like health and wellness is still very important to me and being active. So I work out every single morning and that's how I start my day. And of course, there are days that I don't feel like going to the gym, but I know that I'll feel better after I do it. And I think that's where the discipline comes in
Yeah.
too. And I think when days get hard at work, it also takes a lot of like discipline and grit to
Yes.
get through it.
Yep.
So that's probably it for me.
For me, it's definitely sense of urgency.
Okay.
Yeah. If we didn't start Matcha Masta when we did, we would have not been able to lock in our suppliers because of the matcha shortage. And
Right.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. and I feel like when we first decided, okay, we're going to do this, it was very like go from the beginning.
Yep.
And at the time, like we both still had full time. Shu was still working at the VC. And after that first launch, I had to beg Shu to come on full time with me to Matcha Master.
Okay.
And I told her, like, if not now, then when?
Right. Yes.
Right? We have to catch this opportunity soon before it goes away or before someone else does the same thing, etc.
Yeah.
So I think that was a big trait for me, a very important trait for me.
Yeah, sense of urgency is a great one, actually, because that's something that I think I definitely have. And then the people who do really well at our company also, they have that sense of urgency. They're not just okay with just, oh, let's let it slide till next week, or let's, push it under the rug. Like, it's like, let's address it and let's move forward and let's do it. So yeah. Okay. What's one piece of advice that changed your life?
For me, it's understanding the difference between type 1 decisions and type 2 decisions. It's the framework that Bezos uses, where type 1 is a one-way door.
Okay.
Where you should take a lot of time to think through your decision choice. And type 2 is a reversible door where you can kind of scale back and kind of click undo, essentially.
Okay.
So an example of this is, for example, a type 1 decision would be like who you choose as a co-founder.
Yep.
Right? That's an irreversible, very important decision, whether you're going to enter a new market. And some type 2 decisions that I use a lot, or I have to make decisions on every single day, is more like marketing choices, right? Like, oh, what are we going to A/B test in our email marketing campaigns?
Right. Yeah.
Like, what's the website copy going to be? Like, even releasing a new flavor is something that we can try. If it doesn't work out, scale back on. So I think that's really impacted how I make my decisions day to day.
Okay.
That's mine. It's on a more like spiritual like way. So my mom is a pretty spiritual person, and anytime I go through like a hard time, she's always like, everything happens for a reason, or there's a time and place for everything. And again, that advice is really good for me for going through like my day to day and running a business, because the days do get hard. And so just always remembering that, sometimes when something doesn't happen the way you expect it to happen, like it's might be a blessing that it happened in that format.
Yeah.
And I also think about how when we started Matcha Master, like, so I actually went to business school thinking I'm going to find a co-founder there too.
Yeah.
And like, I want to start a business while in business school. That didn't happen. I got into VC, and like that was supposed to help me like try to find something to do to like to start my own business. But I still look back at how we started Matcha Master together, and we have known each other for so long. It still feels serendipitous and good timing. And so I almost feel like, maybe when things don't go the way you want it to go, just be patient.
Yeah.
Because it'll probably come around in a different format like later down the line.
That's true. That's true. And for me, I had to learn that lesson too, because I'm a very like must be in control, like must go to plan. And I was very upset when things didn't go to plan. But I've learned so many times over the years that, you think this door is closed and you think it's not. And then you're like, why? But actually another door opens, or it actually in hindsight was the best thing for you at that time.
Exactly. And and I bring up this as good advice because I'm like you too.
Yeah.
I need to be in control of everything, and I like things to go my way.
To tick those things
Yes,
off the list.
yes, exactly. So when things don't go the way I envision or want it, I get so upset. And so I need advice like that to just keep me a bit sane.
Yeah. Okay. What's something that you used to believe about yourself that you've since outgrown?
It's not a belief I had about myself particularly, but I've learned in general not to like box myself and think of myself as like a certain type of person, because like people are like multi-dimensional. So kind of answering your question is, growing up I always thought like, oh, I'm not athletic, I don't do sports. And so then I would not really try sports. But now I realize I'm good at Pilates, or like there are other things, right? And I got into running too, and I realized that I can do. I just can't play like basketball.
So it's a ball sense thing.
Exactly. It's a ball. You're picking it up. Yes.
It's not a sport thing in general.
But so that as I've grown older, I've realized that, I should stop pigeonholing myself and boxing myself.
And those self-limiting beliefs.
Exactly, because it is
Letting go of that.
self-limiting. And kind of back to Matcha Master is, I don't want to box ourselves up ever and be like, we are a matcha company only. Like I almost wanted to be like, there's so much for us to achieve, and having that mindset that there's a lot out there. You
Okay.
don't need to box yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to think that you needed a formal education to really build on your skill set.
Okay.
Right. And I used to think, and this relates to kind of what you were saying about
Yeah.
boxing yourself up. I used to
Yeah.
think like, okay, I'm only allowed to do nutrition work.
Mm.
That's it. But after graduation, after I work for other companies, like building your skill sets in marketing and branding and like your soft skills is so important. And you don't need to be in an official program for that, whether it be like a summer program or a course or an MBA, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having that, I've learned that having a learn it all attitude is so important and key, especially when you are running a business.
Yeah, and that's actually what we tell our team a lot.
Yeah.
We always say like you need to be a learn it all because we are a small team, and so you're not going to be in one role and only do like a specific task. Like you do need to be a bit more flexible in the work you do.
Okay. And a last question. What is one thing you think everyone should eat in their lifetime and why?
Oh, I would say warabi mochi.
Oh, I love that.
She just made some warabi mochi and it's so
Oh, you
good.
made it.
It's my favorite
It's so
not too
good.
sweet snack.
And it's like melty and
Exactly.
yeah, I like that too.
Maybe on the topic of sweets too. I really, really love Bengawan Solo's pandan kaya cake.
That's a classic.
When I was younger, I ate a whole cake by myself.
You
And
did?
I had a really bad stomachache after, but I think it's worth it. It's just so good, and I will never get sick of it. And it's just it hits the spot. Everyone should try it if they're in Singapore.
Well, I know what to get you for your birthday.
It was my birthday cake this year.
Oh, it was?
I love it so much, and it's green. So it's perfect.
It's very on brand for you guys.
Exactly.
I wore green and you guys are not wearing green today. So.
Yeah.
We've just like run out of green things.
I
wore
wore
all my
green
greens.
It's okay. At least one of us is wearing matcha
Yeah,
color.
we should have coordinated. We should have went shopping.
I know we should have gone shopping.
Okay. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining and for sharing about your journey and the challenges and what you hope to achieve. It's like, very inspirational. And I've loved talking to you.
Oh, thank you
Love
for
this.
having
This was really
us.
fun.
This was so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed listening to Soul Food, please give us a 5-star rating, subscribe, or share an episode with your friends. It helps us grow so we can continue bringing you thoughtful conversations. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today.